believe that I couldn't do better.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
There's no beyond experience, yeah. Oh, this clothing line is all about hopes in the black man's mind. All about reminding us as how beautiful we are for the near or far, yeah. Oh, the clothing line features t-shirts, checks, polos and shirts. Oh, dashiki, lady v-neck, lady tank top and baby tees, yeah. Dresses and
we were made to serve God, called by many names, through time, space, and language. We were made to give praise to that source of life. We must pay our homage, respecting the earth, the wind and trees, all them rivers and seas, all lives, not just humankind. That's devotion to the divine. But because of different belief systems, each one will say what works for them. So rejoice, give praise, and say amen. Amen. When I give praise, I say Ibashe. As I wake each day a brand new dawn, in spite of the odds, I'm moving on. Ibashe, Ibashe. I can't give up. Persistence is the key. One day I'll have the victory. Ibashe, Ibashe, Ibashe. So thankful. Ibashe. Ever grateful. Ibashe, Ibashe. Challenges as we seek to climb that ladder of success. Enemies we bound to make with each step of growth. Jealousy walks with progress. But remember who God bless. No man curse, but my people shall face the worst. Go both with faith, goes inside the darkest shadow has a bright light. Blessings come to the grateful one. Never ever forget where you came from. So rejoice, give praise, say Om Shanti. Om Shanti. When I give praise, I say Ibashe. Hurts and pains of the past, thankful for all. Because of them I'm standing tall. Ibashe, Ibashe. So many times I failed, fell to the ground, but my ancestors kept me strong. Ibashe. Tenacity, Ibashe. Positivity, Ibashe, Ibashe. If only we can live in peace, love and harmony in this world with each other. For we know over yonder. Let's extend a helping hand to those who need a little push for them to succeed. Kind words can go a longer way. Your blessings you would receive one day. Life is so unpredictable. No one's immune from its pain and struggle. Go ahead, rejoice, say Alhamdulillah. When I give praise, I say Ibashe. Through all the changing scenes of life, in trouble, joy, and in strife, there's more to life than material wealth. True treasure is finding self. Affection, compassion, Ibashe is a powerful phrase that is used to show respect, praise, and honor. Handed down through ages, a gift to the world by Yoruba ancestors. In good or bad times, ups and downs, say to keep your spirit strong. Don't fight over religion, God is diverse, yet still only one. East and west, north and south, let our voices be heard round about. So rejoice, give praise, say as you wish. We can all give praise and say Ibashe. As we wake each day a brand new dawn, in spite of the odds we're moving on. We can't give up, persistence is the key. One day we'll have the victory. Patience, tolerance, let's give praise, let's give praise. Ooh, let's give praise, Ibashe.
Beleke, Oku Ibona, Bakere Olowo Eyo, Eshu Nikorewa, Elekbara Niko Bilo, Beleke Nidara Oro Sawo Nile, Eshu Mashemi, Omo Elomi, Nioshe, Eshu Mashewa. Eshu Deo Deo, Eshu Deo Deo, Beleke, Eshu Deo. Eshu Deo Deo, Eshu Deo Deo. Nobody can take my joy away. I am born to be happy. Everything Orisha supply for me is enough to be jolly. Got no need to be worried, no. Cause life is a blessing, no. My life is a blessing, no. Eshu Deo Deo. Eshu Deo Deo, Eshu Deo Deo, Asana. Eshu Deo Deo, Eshu Deo Deo, Eshu Deo Deo. Akena. Every morning I awake, I give thanks to my Ori. Eshu Lanu, he who makes all doors open up for me. Bad energies, no room for you. Ọlá ìlú, èṣùbá nìkan ọ̀wọ́ ìlú, òró ìlú, ọ̀lá ìlú, ọba ẹ̀bọ̀rà nílẹ̀ kẹ́tún, èṣù ìgbẹ́ bọ̀ orókún, ẹlẹ́gbàrà nígbẹ́ bọ̀ òrósà, ẹlẹ́gbàrà nígbẹ́ bọ̀ orókùn òrósà, oníbòde. Èṣù deo deo, èṣù deo deo, èṣù deo deo. Bẹ̀lẹ́kẹ̀. Èṣù deo deo. Eshu Deo Deo,
Walewa egungu ibao waleo persecution, horrors, Wolewa. When they try to oppress me, humiliate and stop me, Wolewa. I pour libation and send my supplication into the spirit realm, Wolewa. Wolewa. Never will they let me down, Wolewa. They see my tears, they feel my pain. With patience I'll rise again, Wolewa. I must stay focused to fulfill my purpose, and I will conquer all. Ancestor. Omi awa ibajani ibabo shishe agbatani. Omi awa ibajani ibabo shishe oshushile. Omi awa ibajani ibabo shishe agbatani. Omi awa ibajani ibabo shishe oshushile. Omi awa ibajani ibabo shishe agbatani. Omi awa ibajani ibabo shishe oshushile. Omi awa ibajani ibabo shishe agbatani. Omi awa ibajani ibabo shishe oshushile. Omi awa ibajani ibabo shishe agbatani. Omi awa ibajani ibabo shishe oshushile. Omi awa ibajani ibabo shishe agbatani. Omi awa ibajani ibabo shishe oshushile. Omi awa ibajani ibabo shishe agbatani. Omi awa ibajani ibabo shishe oshushile. Omi awa ibajani ibabo shishe agbatani. Omi awa ibajani ibabo shishe oshushile. Omi awa ibajani ibabo shishe agbatani. Omi awa ibajani ibabo shishe oshushile. Omi awa ibajani ibabo shishe agbatani.
Ekale, good night. Ekabo, welcome. This is the Ifa Orisha way of life, live on the street 919. As we start, we pay homage to Oludumare. We pay homage to our Ori. We pay homage to our mothers. We pay homage to our fathers. We pay homage to our ancestors. We pay homage to Barami Agboniregun, Orimela, Eleri Ipin, Ibikeji Oludumare. We give homage to Akoda. We pay homage to Asheda, the first students of Orimela. We give homage to Eshu, Eshu Lalu, Eshu Dara, Eshu Unibode. We give homage to Ogula Kaye Oshimole, Oguye Moye. We pay homage to Kabiesi Shango, Kabiesio. We pay homage to Orishanla, Epa Orishao. We pay homage to Onile, Mother Earth. We pay homage to Asain. We pay homage to Erile. We pay homage to Obaluwaye. We pay homage to Yeye Moja. We pay homage to Oya. We pay homage to Bogbo Orisha. We pay homage to our Egbe Aye. We pay homage to our Egbe Orun. We give thanks, we give thanks, we give thanks. As we start this day, this session of the Ifa Orisha way of life, we give thanks. We give thanks for our life. It is because with life, one could make changes. One could impact positively on other lives. So we give thanks for our life. We give thanks for those who are around us, who are positively impacting on us. Our mothers, our fathers, those in our community, our children. We give praise for the positive contributions that we are receiving. We offer a special prayer for those who are in the hospitals at this time, who is in need of healing. We pray that healing meets them. Those who are falsely incarcerated, we pray that justice meets you. Our brothers and sisters who are homeless on the streets, we pray that they already elevate them. We ask this in no other name but Olodumare's most sacred and bountiful name. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. As we go forward, I acknowledge my brother, Allah Tumishe, MC Duke. He's outside on a little vacation at this point in time. So I say a pleasant good night to him. I pay homage to all elders across this land of Trinidad and Tobago. Those in the east, those in the west, those in the north, and those in the south, and even those across in the wider diaspora. We give thanks. Ifa tells us that according to Irosun Owori, that certain circumstances that would befall us in life, we have to carefully examine it. And by carefully examining certain situations, out of it is a lesson. Ifa tells us in Irosun Iwori about 6 albinos who were uncomfortable in their skin and they wanted to turn black. So they went for consultation. You understand? They went to find out what could be done to turn them from their lack of pigment to be turned black. And again, this is out of Irosun Ofun. They were advised that the way that Olodumare created them, it is so for a particular reason. They are unique and they must seek to embrace their uniqueness. But that was not satisfying to them. So they went to someone who told them to don't bathe for 7 days. Rub certain herbs on their skin. And that person had charged them large amounts of money to turn 6 albinos black. By the 6th day, when their skins burst out in rashes and sores, they rushed to bathe. But the person who had promised them that they would be turned black, that person had pocketed all their money. Ifa tells us in Irosun Ofun, let us accept the way Olodumare created us. Let us accept things, accept our uniqueness, walk in our grace and walk in our power. There would be times in our lives when we would sometimes challenge the way that we see ourselves in the grander scheme of things. That is why Ifa always tells us, let us know our blueprint, know our purpose, so that we would be properly guided to walk our destiny and to walk in our power. Ashe? Ifa tells us to know our purpose, know our destiny, and that would allow us to walk in our power. Sometimes a person may be going through some sort of heartache or some kind of, as we would call in local parlance, at a banker. And you might think that the person who no longer wants to be in your life, that is the end of your life. That is the end of your career. So sometimes if you are ill-advised, you would be going from place to place, seeking to do things, that would block your blessing. Because sometimes you will be holding on to something that is blocking your blessing. And Ifa tells us in Irosun Ofun, let us not be unrealistic in accepting facts, in accepting our fate. So sometimes you might feel as if, your life is done because a certain person is seeking to exit your life. But you don't even know the blessing that is behind that person's exit. Sometimes you may even go through hearing of certain nefarious underhand things to do to keep a person. But as our elders always say, what is in the dark does always come to light. So sometimes you might go in a certain place and try, to put things in your person's food to control them. But how long would that last? Doing evil things often backfires in a person's face. So that's why Ifa tells us, let us not be unrealistic in accepting fate, because you don't know what is the blessing that will come down the road. Let us examine things at all angles, because you don't know what comes after that dark cloud. You might think by seeking, to put a person under control is the way for you to receive your blessings in life. But we must always remember, each and every one of us have an individual destiny. And if you seek to interrupt another person's destiny, in the end, you will have to answer for that. If someone is destined to be in a particular place, divinely inspired by Olodumare, and you seek to get in between that, you would have to answer for that. If you try to cut down a man's road, derail his path, always remember that you would have children who are coming up after. And the things you do to a person, that even if you think you may have gotten away, those are the things that would befall your generations to come. So Ifa tells us, let us not be unrealistic. Let us accept truth, because Ejogbe tells us to accept truth. And when we accept truth, we would not be running helter-skelter. We will be walking, and when we reach to a cool place, we will look up and we would see that there's endless possibilities for a person who's living in truth. Ashe? So as Ifa says, be focused. Keep your eyes on the prize. Acceptance. Acceptance of what is to be. Because all of us are destined to walk in a particular function. To walk in a particular function. As Ifa says as well in Irosun Iwer, that the hard times a person would face, it is never permanent. You may think that you don't have money, you don't have a house, you don't have a car, you don't have savings. But Ifa says, those who don't have, pick up things, go in the garden, send your mind forward. The creative energy will install messages in your mind of how to get to make money in the right way. Get up and work. Get up and get. Create possibilities. Create opportunities and get. And move forward. No one's life is done until they of themselves defeat their own self. If you defeat your own self, it's easy for the enemy to defeat you. Give your Ori that strength, give your Ori that power, and move forward in grace. And when we move forward in grace, this is what the Orisha and the ancestors need to push us forward. They cannot push you forward unless you take that first step. Iwer says, you have to work in order to get money. You have to work in order to build a house. You have to work in order to get stability in your life. And Ifa tells us in Iwer that character is what determines your success. If your character is not in alignment, then you would not be successful. Yeah? Ifa says if your character is not in alignment, you would not be successful. Those who are successful are those who have built upon their good character. And that is the magnet in which draws them to their success. Ogbe Yunu also tells us that in light of everything, we need to take care of ourselves. Ifa says in Ogbe Yunu, when the birds wake up, they take care of themselves. The fish, the rats, all things on earth, they take care of themselves. So if you as a human being are not taking care of yourself, according to Ifa, you would not even reach very far. Ogunda Meji tells us as well, sometimes we put all our emphasis on the pursuit of money, and we don't take on building positive relationships to create a family. Ifa says, let us have balance in the way we do things. Let us build our families so that our families could add to the creation of a healthy community. Ifa tells us in Osarete that if you feel as if you know your pathway is blocked and that you are stumbling here and there and nothing is working well for you, Ifa says, make the correct sacrifice so that your pathway would be cleared. Sometimes the sacrifice that needs to be made is adjustment of one's attitude. And when one adjusts their attitude, then you would see the change is needed to open certain doors. Ifa tells us in Ufun Meji as well, let us not underestimate people. When we say underestimate people, let us not see people as if we are better than them. In different walks of life, people have the keys to assist us in opening doors So don't think that when you go out in the streets, someone out there cannot help you. Certain times, Olodumare works through people. You might go in an office, you might go on the bus, you might go in the market, and you may see someone who doesn't look like you, who does not even dress like you, who doesn't talk like you. And you may think that you have to pass them straight because you don't see them as you. But we are all Olodumare's children. Whether we are African, whether we are Chinese, Indian, white, mixed, all of us are Olodumare's children. And all of us need to give each other that respect in order to see the grace of Olodumare. Ashe? There's never a time in our life when our spiritual hygiene must be placed at the back burner. And when we say spiritual hygiene, it is our spiritual routine, our practice, the way we live our life. And these are the things that would insulate us in this world when issues and challenges and all sorts of things seek to befall us. It's our spiritual lives that emphasizes how we move forward. Even right now, when we take a look at our current gun situation in this land of Trinidad and Tobago, and every day on the newspapers, it's a body on the ground, and the murder toll just keep on rising and rising and rising. And it's a reality that many people are frightened about. But our country was not like that in the 90s, the 80s, and the 70s. It wasn't like that when core values and principles were enshrined in our schools, were enshrined in our homes, were enshrined in our communities. And Ifa tells us in Otura Meji that we need to get back to our foundation, get back to our root, get back to our morals, get back to our principles, get back to our value system that has been eroded. And when we get back to our value systems, this is what would fix and repair our homes and our communities. We have a situation as well where our children, their Ori, is constantly being under attack by the inundated, irresponsible information that is circulated on all forms of social media. Certain music that is being played. Remember, our children's mind is constantly developing. A child mind is like a seed. What you put to nourish and fertilize that seed is what that child will become. So in our homes, if our conversations is inappropriate or our actions is inappropriate around our children, then we are raising an inappropriate person. If we turn a blind eye to the things that is glaring in daylight, what we think would happen down the road. We have to protect them because they are the ones who have to take this land forward in the right direction. We have instances where children are fighting teachers in the schools. And it's all over social media. Fighting in the schools and all kind of recklessness. Parents, you are the first crime stoppers. Back in the day, my mother, as a housewife, she conducted many roles in her home. She was the CID. She was the 999. She was the judge. She was the magistrate. She was the investigator. And that is the function. And she was supported by my father to ensure that the home was run in the way that it needed to be run. So as we go forward, let us access the blessings of Ifa on our lives as we walk this way of life. Aburu, Aboy, Aboshishe.
As how beautiful we are for the year of fire, yeah. Oh, the clothing line features t-shirts, checks, polos and shirts. Oh, dashiki, lady v-neck, lady tank top and baby tees, yeah. Dresses and
Now the time come to sit down and rediscover what's life. Show the world the true meaning of real love, power, not strife. Bring down the power of love, I say. The power of love, I say, is the greatest power. Stop hell and damnation. Love to heal a nation. Put a hand on the fire and cleanse the wicked. Right now. All of them who does worship, greed and vanity must bow. Unity is the banner, so come together. I say, and this love is for freedom, it's growing stronger each day. Bring down the power of love, I say. The power of love, I say, is the greatest power. Stop hell and damnation. Love to heal a nation. So rejoice in a rhythm of celebration. Come on. Lift your voice with a feeling of satisfaction as one. And let we move with a purpose, all freedom lovers. Hold tight. Stepping out of the darkness with one direction inside. Bring down the power of love, I say. The power of love, I say, is the greatest power. Stop hell and damnation. Love to heal a nation. Bring down the power of love, I say. The power of love, I say. Stop hell and damnation.
Aburu aboye aboshishe. Greetings. So we are back. And as we spoke about maintaining our peace within ourselves, maintaining our peace within our community. And as we said that it's incumbent on all of us to do that work within ourselves that would assist us to go forward. Ifa also tells us in Irosun Iwori that we must appraise, we must give praise. We cannot walk about as we start our day without taking that time to give praise. As we all know, we all have an inner consciousness, an inner spirit that is connected to the divine. And when we say that inner consciousness that is connected to the divine, the higher power, Olodumare. So when you wake up on a morning, Ifa says, you greet the universe, you greet Olodumare, you greet your inner head, and you greet your parents well. Ifa says when you greet your parents well, that comes as if you are greeting Olodumare. And these are the things that it may seem minute, it may seem subtle, but these are the things that determines a person's success. If you start your day without order and without putting things in perspective in terms of balance, that would follow you throughout your day. How you start your day determines the connection, the flow of how energies would move with you throughout the day. That's why Ifa tells us in Iwer, in Oyekumeji, that we must wake up early in the morning and send out our prayers. We must wake up early in the morning and give our petitions, give our prayer, offer libation, and ask. In fact, command and demand that things go well for us. A person might seem that they are in a quagmire, a revolving door, in the same position over and over and over. Ifa tells us in Ogbe Oyeku that we have to oftentimes reform ourselves. And when we say reform ourselves, look at the way we are currently doing things and measure how successful we are based on the way we are currently doing things. So self-reform is very, very much important. Because sometimes we may be doing things that need adjusting, need adjustment for us to be successful. That is why it's incumbent on the person to be truthful to themselves. Because you may be doing things and getting the same result over and over and over again. And you may be asking questions. Has Ifa forgotten me? Has Olodumare forgotten me? Have my ancestors forgotten me? Why am I in the same position over and over? But Ifa tells us, let us make adjustments to ourselves. So as we make these adjustments, the energies will move with us. Sometimes a person may be feeling depressed, downpressed. They would be feeling as if, their life is not going anywhere. Ifa tells us in Oyekumeji, let us feed our ori from time to time. Let us wash and feed our ori from time to time to avoid the feeling of depression. Because these things are real. Remember, we live in a world both in the physical and both in the spiritual. So we will feel energy from time to time. There are times when our energy may be high, and there are times when our energy may be low. But at all times, we must seek to do the things that are pertinent to keeping our spiritual defenses high. And that is through prayer. That is also through cleansing ourselves on a regular basis. Sometimes a person may wake up and they may feel as if their paths is crossed and they are feeling tied up. Ifa tells us in Odimeji that we have to adjust things. Adjust things. Adjust things. Sometimes you may be at home. It's often good to rearrange your space. Open up your space. Let that positive winds of change of Oya blow through your space. Don't have your place close up. Don't allow cobwebs to stick up in your place. Clean your place out. Let breeze blow through your place. And as the breeze blow, ask Yeye Oya to bring positive changes in one's life. If we want blessings to arrive in our homes, we mustn't have our homes dirty. We mustn't have our homes contaminated. Long ago, you couldn't walk inside your homes around elderly people with your shoes on. And the notion behind that is you're walking all over the town, all over the city, and you don't know what you're mashing. And you're coming home and you're walking straight in your bedroom, straight in your living room, straight all over. These are the things. It may seem small, but we have to get back to it in order to reform our lives completely. Because many things of old, we have put it away. Yeah? Many things of old, we have put it away. But we live in a physical and a spiritual world. And there are things that the carnal eye would not see. So that is why it's incumbent on you to develop proper, healthy spiritual practices that must be maintained in your homes. Sometimes a person, again, would wake up. You're feeling lethargic. You're feeling tired. You're not feeling to do anything. The house in a mess. Your work in a mess. Everything you're feeling as if it is in a state of helter-skelter. You go, you look for a proper clean river, and you cleanse yourself early in the morning. You don't start your work week lazy. You get up, you shake yourself up, and you go forward. And this is the type of attitude that would allow a person to become successful in this life. We must also remember that we need to often take care of our egbe. And a lot of people would be asking, what is our egbe? Who is egbe? In simpler terms is, our egbe is our heavenly pair, our heavenly mates, those that are still connected to us, even though we are in the physical realm. And when we appease them good from time to time, they in turn would ensure that we are well protected. Sometimes a person may not be finding any headway because many of us have forgotten. In fact, all of us have forgotten our spiritual agreements we have made in heaven before coming to earth. Many of us have forgotten. But that is why doing a consultation, doing a reading from time to time would allow you to understand why your pathway may be blocked and what could be done to rectify the situation and make it much more comfortable for you. Ashe? So no matter the situation, there is remedy. No matter how dark and how gloom and how shaky the situation may be, just remember that you have a mission, you have an assignment. And once you keep focused on that, that is what will bring you grace. There are times when we may be glancing at the success at other people, and we oftentimes forget our own. We often forget what we have to do in life. That's why Ifa tells us our Ori is what would attract wealth. Our Ori is what would attract blessings. Because whatever your Ori chose in the spiritual world, once your attitude is correct in this physical world, you will be successful. And we must not forget the power of prayer. In Oturapon Ofun, Ifa says, let us pray with sincerity. Let us rub our hands and pray. Let us meditate in Oturapon Ofun. Let us meditate and pray. Meditate. Pray. Connect your Ori in the places that it needs to be connected, and pray. And allow Orisha to enter and work with you. Rub your hands and pray. Pray, pray, pray. Ifa tells us in Osheotura, pray, open your mouth and pray. Send forward your prayers so that your prayers will reach the places that it needs to be. Ifa says in Odi Ika, the roots inside a stream could never impede the flow of water in the river. And that tells us that whatever you do, once you are grounded in spirit and in spirituality, nothing could impede your path. The roots inside the stream could never impede the flow of running water in the river. Cast divination for Orunmila on the day he was in midst of foes. Would he overcome? He consulted Ifa. He did his prescribed sacrifice, and he was able to overcome. Ifa says in the midst of any situation of doubt, do what you need to do spiritually, and you would elevate out of that place of doubt. And these are the things that would bring us forward. And as I always emphasize here on the Ifa Orisha way of life, we are going forward as a people. And the only way one's forward movement is ensured is through one's attitude. Owori Osha tells us that having the discipline within oneself to observe one's taboo is important and clinical in one's survival, spiritually and physically. A person cannot think that by breaking taboo, their blessings is ensured. By breaking taboo, you are diminishing your potential. And when we say breaking taboo, taboo is spiritual poison. Things that you are not supposed to do spiritually. So sometimes a person may go and get a reading done. And when that person gets a reading done, if I will tell that person, hear what? Don't eat chicken for a month. Don't wear black. Don't wear red for a certain amount of time. Don't walk late at night. And some of these instructions may seem so simple. And you think that by breaking it, it wouldn't make a difference in your success. But obedience in spirituality is the first law of longevity. If you want to live long, observe your taboo. Observe the law of the land. There are certain laws of this land, even in the spirit, your realm is put in unto all of us. But to ensure that you are successful in your journey, you need to observe the taboos that you are given. And you have to respect other person's taboo as well. So if you know a man cannot eat something, don't disguise it and give him it to eat and tell him it is something else. You will have to pay a price for that. So that's why it's incumbent on all of us to ensure that we don't break our taboo, or we don't even encourage other people to break their taboo. You might enter in a relationship with someone and they really don't understand your way of life and the things that you're not supposed to do. By compromising what you need to do to make another person happy, that will just spell destruction for yourself. Observing taboo is a serious, serious thing. Even rampant now in our country, where in our homes, even though a home may not be practicing traditional ways of life, every home must run with a sense of order. And when order is broken down, that is when things in itself breaks down. When order in a community is broken down, that is what causes crime. And that is what affects our nation. So we need to observe our taboo. We need to observe our taboo. And we need to respect other people's taboos as well. There's a saying that if we go back to the way that things were, this is what would bring us grace. But many times we have moved away from our root, moved away from our foundation, and we have accepted other values and other value systems that is not in the way that would assure our success, would ensure our continuity in the right way. Our brothers and sisters right now in Africa land are standing up at this time against foreign indoctrination on how they are supposed to run their society. We must be firm in what we believe in as a people. What is not right for us, we must not accept it. If something is not healthy for you, you have the right to not accept it. If you know something is not right for you spiritually, you should not accept it. Aburu, Aboye, Aboshishe.
Like a bongo or Orisha drum, deep in the Congo, calling me Santa Claus. Oh, makes me want to dance. Puts me in a trance. I can't control my feet. I was scarred by a whip. I was tied on their ship. I was used. I was wrong. But that can't keep me down. Don't me face. They me scorn. They crown me with thorns. I'm the root. I'm the rock. Resolute like me locks. Asian rhythm. Oh, you healer of my pain. Make me whole again. Yeah, though I travel far, I am Africa. Ancient rhythm. Brought here to this land, which I now do call my home. Trinidadian, though my spirit is still roam. In the ghetto, born and raised, my ancestors are still giving praise. True religion, peace I found. Meditation when I lay on the morning ground. Oh, makes me feel to dance, dance, dance. Put me in a trance. Flowing through my veins. Now I'm free as a bird. Liberty is the word. West Indian, Caribbean, African, Nubian queen. My skin they be swirl. With crosses they burn. No, I won't be denied. There is beating inside. Asian rhythm. Your healer of me pain. Come, come, come. Make me whole again. Oh, deep
Let's go beyond experience. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, this clothing line is all about opening the black man's mind. All about reminding us as how beautiful we are from the near or far. Yeah, yeah. Oh, the clothing line features t-shirts, checks, polos and shirts. Oh, dashiki, lady v-neck, lady tank top, and baby tees. Yeah, dresses and
Yes, I have heard that my ancestors was from Nigeria. And that is why I'm carrying the name Osuna. Deep inside of me, I just wasn't satisfied. So I did some soul searching and asked myself, who am I? Then I found out John African was my great-grandfather. And he was from an African tribe called Yoruba. The Dolly's from Pebble Village, yes, that was my great-aunt. So in the name of Orisha, I greet you all with a chant. Yeah, Shango Babawa, Shango Holodo, Karile, Shango Babawa, Holodo, Kabile Sio. Hey, Shango Babawa, discover my religious practice is Orisha. With the help of deceased Winston Grant and sister, through their spiritual efforts I have found the truth. Thanks to Olodumare, I'm standing firm on my route. Now that I know me calabash, me oil and me obi, these were just some of the things taken from me. So when you see me I'm not looking for Obia. No, sir. I come to chant and pay my respects to the Orisha. Ah, Shango Babawa, Shango Holodo, Karile, Shango Babawa, Holodo, Kabile, Sio. Play the drum. Shango Babawa, day, Shango Holodo, Karile, Shango Babawa, Holodo, Kabile, Sio. Discover my passion is Oshun and Osa. I must have a simple Shango and Jaja. Through manifestation I could reach the other side to meet with my ancestors and visit the river Nile. With a voice like that great archangel, I could touch your soul, both spiritual and carnal. I could bring you transportation to Africa. I am an Orisha priest, they call me the Amungwa. Hey, Shango Babawa, Shango Holodo, Kabile, Shango Babawa, Holodo, Kabile, Sio. Hey, Shango Babawa, day, Shango Holodo, Kabile, Shango Babawa, Holodo, Kabile, Sio. Let me see the hands and Holodo. Hey, money Shango Dawona. Hey, Dawona. Oh yeah, Baba Dawona. Hey, Dawona. Yeah, money Shango Dawona, Baba. Hey, Dawona. Hello, Dawona. Hey, Dawona. Yeah, money Shango Dawona, Baba. Hey, Dawona. So in the streets, when people stop to congratulate me, commenting on how much yes, the judges them robbed me. What the judges said to me didn't mean a thing, because I knew long before last year I was born a king. So when I sing Kaiso, that's to feed my family. But when I sing Orisha, it's to pay homage to my deity. Alado ye abakuso, that's my tribal cry. I'm so proud I could stand and explain to you who am I Shango Babawa, Shango Holodo, Kabile, Shango Babawa, Holodo, Kabile, Sio. Hey, Shango Babawa, ding, Shango Babawa, Kabile, Shango Babawa, Holodo, Kabile, Sio. Ah, Shango Babawa, Shango Holodo, Kabile, Shango Babawa.
Blessings. Greetings again on the Ifarisha way of life. Iwer tells us that we want our Ori to take us to that place of our destiny. And we place so much emphasis on our destiny as Ifa adherents because we know that our existence on earth, Ileaye, it is because we have a divine mission. It is because we have a divine mission. And when we walk in line of that divine mission, that is when we are doing Olodumare's work. And no matter where you go in life, no matter where you stand, no matter what a person thinks that they have achieved, once a person is achieving things within their divine destiny, that is what would make a person feel comfortable. Because the worst thing for a person is to live a life not doing what they are supposed to do. Because on the day of one's transition, and one is at a time greeted by one's ancestors, one would have to answer why they did not do certain things. Our life is about succession. What foundation we are laying for those who are coming after? Odi Irosun. It is the family that we are born into. It is the community that we live. It is the marketplace that we go. It is the places that we interact with. What is the legacy we are leaving behind? And our legacy must be built on the goodness and the power of our character. That is in line with our destiny. That is in line with our purpose. That is in line with our mission. Sometimes a person may feel a state of confusion, but that is okay. That is why the essence of Olodumare is in all of us, to remind each other, to cheer on each other, to coach each other to go forward. As Irosun Osa speaks about when Orunmila went to the market of Ido to choose destiny. All of us have chosen a particular destiny. And within that destiny is what we would have to do. So from the schools we chose for our children, from the line of work we want them to do, we have to ensure that that is what they are here to do. We don't do things blindly as a people, because if we continue to do things blindly, we would not be successful. And again, character determines outcome. Character determines outcome. And we want our outcome to be peaceful and to be graceful. Ifa tells us in Uturameji that the successful people that make their sojourn on earth, when they go back to Orun and they are granted the permission to come back on earth, because we in Ifa Orisha way of life, we know about reincarnation. We believe in the power of reincarnation. That the way we live our lives presently will determine how we come back. The way we live our life presently will determine our grace and comfort in the afterlife. So that is why we place so much emphasis on Iwapele, on one's character, on how one lives, on how one functions. Ogunda Ogbe tells us as well that before we do things, think about the aftermath. Think about what effect that particular thing you are about to do, what effect it would have after. So sometimes a person may be in the line of offering up a service as a service provider, and you are cutting corners. But think about, by you cutting that corner, what would happen down the road. A person may go to you with a vehicle, and they would trust you to do that mechanical work with honesty. And you go and you put in bad parts, or you take out parts in a person's vehicle and you put in old parts. And that person may be driving, and whatever you had done at that point in time affected that person on the road, and that person had gotten into an accident, you have to answer for that. If you are cooking food and you're putting old thing in people's food, you have to answer for that. If you are a contractor and you are robbing people, you might think, boy, I'll get through. I'll go live large off of people, and people crying, and people have large amounts of monies to repay these financial institutions, and they didn't get their work done properly by you. You might enjoy the money today, but you wouldn't enjoy grace and comfort down the road. So that's why sometimes it's advised, as people, we have to be careful who we feel sorry for. Because as Ifa tells us in Irosumeji, we work towards the blessings we get. You work towards the blessings you get. Yeah? So what you put in is what will come back at you. You put in the blessings of hard work, the blessings of success and joy will come back at you. You dish out pain, you dish out dishonesty to people. That is your portion. You'll be running helter-skelter day and night without rest. You always have to be in a constant state of looking over your shoulder. You can't walk around in peace because of the things you have been doing. And you are constantly running scared. And that is why, as devotees in our beautiful tradition, we believe in the power of our ancestors. And we believe that they are constantly protecting and looking after us. So if you think that seeking to tie up a person is in your best interest, clearly you don't have spiritual eyes or spiritual intuition to know that everything done on earth have a price in the afterlife. Everything done here on earth have a price as well here on earth. So we must think before we do things. Think of the aftermath. Think about it. Think. Even as service providers, think about it. A person come and they trust you with certain things. They trust that you would offer a good service and you betray them. What do you think would happen to you? You wouldn't enjoy that money. And I'm sure if many of us look around society, we would look at the people whom we know live life, speeding, conning people, robbing people. And you might look at them and you might see them with plenty physical wealth. But take a look at them closely and see the way they live. They cannot enjoy their wealth and peace. The way we live is the way we enjoy tomorrow. So let us live life in grace. Let us live life in respect. No one knows the head that would wear the crown, according to Ogundameji. No one knows whom would open that door of blessing for you tomorrow. You don't know. You don't know the child who will be the next prime minister tomorrow. You don't even know the next child who will grow up to be a next high court judge. You don't even know. That is why we must live in respect. Live in respect. Our crime situation here, it is not normal. Look at in other islands within the Caribbean. Their numbers is much less smaller. Then let us examine ourselves. These things are not normal. Let us do what we needed to do to break this spiritual curse that is raging through our land. Let us not perpetuate evil and think that evil would neutralize evil. Our land at this point in time, we were once a paradise. And I still believe that Trinidad and Tobago is a paradise. But we have to hold the reins together. And it starts in our homes. And we always emphasize on the Ifarisha way of life, the protection of our homes. Because it's our homes that brings forth citizens. It's our homes that would bring forth the next leader of tomorrow. It's through our homes. So even as adults, let our actions be appropriate. Let our conversations be appropriate. Let our mannerisms be appropriate. We are walking with our children in the road. Let us ensure that they grow up to greet elders in the right way, to greet their peers in the right way. Let us bring back our country, Trinidad and Tobago. Too much of bloodshed, too much of pain, too much of hurt, too much of negative agendas. Let us bring back our country. We have the power of Olodumare within all of us. We have the push of our ancestors behind us. Let us pull back ourselves. Let us reform ourselves. Let us reform our actions to ensure that tomorrow is safe for our children to inherit. Let us ensure that our elders are safe. Again, let us look out for them. Look out for your parents. You may not be living with them, but go and throw an eye on them from time to time. Look after your parents. Because if you have children and they are looking at you by the way you treat your parents, the world is a cycle. Down the road, the way you treat your parents is the way your children would treat you. So we need to be careful. Everything we do is a teaching moment. And everything we do, it's a healing moment too. Our lives must reflect change. It must reflect healing. Sometimes we have to put away grudges that have been passed on from generation to generation, so our children would know what healthy lifestyle and healthy living is. And by doing that, that is making this place a healthier space for all of us to live. I'm sure many people would even attest that back in the 90s and the 80s and the 70s, people would leave home and leave their doors open. Yeah? Many people who are listening now could attest and say that back in those times, people would leave their doors open. And within a few decades, all of that has changed. Let us create that environment for healing. Let us put down old grudges. This land, if human beings think that they could destroy this land will always be here. Human beings would quicker destroy themselves than destroy what Olodumare put here. Because as we know, this land rejuvenates itself. If you're not functioning in alignment, the energies will call you back home. But if you're in alignment, the energies would allow you the grace to live long. But if you consider yourself a bad man, a malandro, a gangster, whatever, you know these terms these days, and you're making miserable all over, trust me, the energies will call you back home. Aburu, Aboye, Aboshishe.
As how beautiful we are for the near of fire, yeah. Oh, the clothing line features t-shirts, checks, polos and shirts. Oh, dashiki, lady v-neck, lady tank top and baby tees, yeah. Dresses and
Aboshishe, greetings again, live on the Street 919, Iwer way of life. Iwer tells us of, just to paraphrase, the things we do would grant us the favor of the divinities of Olodumare, of our ancestors. Iwer tells us that the things that we do that is healthy within our spiritual lives and our interaction with each other would allow us to have that grace to move forward. So if you're genuinely helping a person, genuinely help them. If you are in the position to give a person good advice, give that person good advice. Because many times you are placed in a position that is a catalyst for your blessing tomorrow. So whether or not you think that you're in a position by chance, it's not by chance. As our elder brother Alan sang, life is a stage and we are the actors. The role we have to play, let us play it well. So sometimes you're in a position to give a man a piece of advice that could either make his life or destroy his life. Once you choose the former, that is to build his life, opportunities of life building will come to you. But if you choose the latter, you give a man a piece of advice and you wind him up, or as we would say in local parlance now, or you gossip a man with the wrong vibes or the wrong idea, and he go out there and he do something foolish, you have a price to pay as well. Because you had been in a position divinely to either to talk him out of that and to change his mind. So Iwer Obara tells us, just to paraphrase, the grace we get, it is based on the way we interact and the way we carry out our function on earth. Iwer Obara tells us about the pigeon. They used to reside in the forest. But a particular favor they had done for Arun Miller blessed them and said, hey, now you all could go and live in the house. So what we do would ensure the blessings we receive tomorrow. And this is Ifa, the Ifa way of life. A life of respect that is built on the foundation of respect. And that respect transcends into all aspects of our lives. We give respect to our Creator first. We give praise to our head, our inner consciousness. We give praise to our mothers and our fathers and our ancestors and the divinities. And if we honestly believe in the power of the divinities, let us take a look at nature. Everything has a spiritual essence. And by getting the grace of long life, the medicine is given respect. You respect yourself. You respect your body. To understand that for this body to move and function, you need to be ingesting the correct foods and the correct medicine to make this body function, to do what you need to do. Ifa says, if we continue to enjoy life without tasting bitterness, one cannot enjoy the sweetness of having wealth. Many people want to enjoy life every day and think that, hear what? Bad times may not come, but sometimes down time may come. But when the down time comes is when you have to hold firm and be resilient to move forward. The food you eat, ensure that you put a little bitter medicine in the food. In your diet, you drink some wild cur, highly bush from time to time. Some African bitter leaves from time to time. You crush some garlic and drink from time to time. Because our foods is our medicine. I could stand here on national radio and say, your food is your medicine. But the fried foods is your medicine 365 days a year. When the slightest cold come, it knock you right down. Your food is your medicine. The watercress, the beetroot, the onion, the little zaba pig bush. These are the things that we need to strengthen ourselves. If we have a tare, you get some obi seed, you include that in your diet so that you can be strong spiritually to stand up. Your food is your medicine. And these are the things our elders used to ingest to live long. If we're going out in the rivers, our rivers is a point of healing. Our forest is a point of healing. Let us not go in these places, have a good time, and leave garbage bags with plastic plates, plastic spoons, bottle of rum, snack packs, and litter it all over our rivers. If a person is walking in light and spirit, they would understand that energies live there. And other people have to come and enjoy there. So what you don't want for yourself, don't send out that to other people. Aburu, Aboye, Aboshishe. Thank you on this night for staying with us at the Ifa Orisha Way of Life. I'm touching base again with my brother Alatumishe Ems Iduk. Thank you. You know, and I know he will be here with us soon. So, Ekale everyone and enjoy. Thank you.